Like, I get to travel over the whole U.S., see people that are close to me, see agents, meet up with like you and the Seans and Andrews. Like, I get to go all over the U.S. and I can sell everywhere.
The fastest thing to create complacency is success.
There's so many good people that have all built massive businesses a different way.
No doubt.
So you got to let people run.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country.
All right, everybody, thank you for jumping on with us for our Family First Life Tri-State Training Day podcast. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I got my man Easton Padden, board member of FFL Disruption, superstar Hall of Fame producer, who's produced massive numbers year in and year out since he started here. And we are excited to have you by ways of the Colorado Rockies out of Colorado Springs here in New Jersey today in studio, helping us out with a bunch of things today, including this podcast. Do some BOM stuff later, but we're excited to have you, man. How you doing, buddy?
Man, right now it couldn't be better. It was an awesome trip in. You guys have been great so far. So, man, it's been an awesome day.
Happy to have you, buddy. We got plenty to talk about. I mean, you guys are out there helping a bunch of families every single month. You've got a massive agency with rock star producers doing rock star things on your climb up. And I'd love to know a little bit about some of the stuff that's going into this. The last few months, you know, when you're looking at your deal, what are some of the things you're putting in place to kind of get the pop you guys are starting to experience?
You know, I think a huge part of it is communication top down. You know, it's an awesome discussion that we were kind of having this morning, just talking about empowering your leaders and your agents to, dude, they're coming over here to be independent contractors. So, you know, pouring that belief, like however you want to run at this thing, dude, there's 100 ways to be successful here.
I love the way you say that.
So I think figuring out like what are they really looking for so that we can empower them to accomplish what it is that they are here to do.
Correct.
You know, that's one of the hardest things about what we do, because there's so much potential to crush it here.
No doubt.
You know, when you see that, you want that for everybody.
Yeah.
So learning how to steer that a little bit has been great. You know, making some staff adjustments, upping our marketing every single month.
Love it.
You know, we're just trying to move 100 miles an hour appropriately so that we're building it the right way.
I love it, dude. Well, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about, you know, Easton, the producer, who's just, you know, been out there slaying it year in and year out. You know, what was your best year? How many families did you help?
Last year, 940. Last year.
900, that's like double the Hall of Fame. A little bit more than double Hall of Fame. So 940 families helped in the calendar year. Let's talk about that mindset. What goes into saying in January of 2021, I want to have this kind of year? That wasn't a mistake. So what goes into that mindset wise? What goes into that from a production lead, just overall, Easton the producer?
Well, I think I'm super fortunate to be surrounded by the people that I am. You know, like I've got to watch Zach Twardowski from when he was a VP coming off of his first year Hall of Fame to helping 700 plus families in a year and getting to his integrity deal. So making sure that I'm communicating with the right people that can actually help me, you know, kind of take it to the level that I want to from a production standpoint.
No doubt.
So calendar was massive. You know, I always had a pretty big belief in myself. Like, hey, if I was willing to do the work and I was coachable and I was talking to the right people, you know, why would, you know, these Zachs or the Steves or the Robs, like why them and not me?
Right.
You know, so that belief part has to come first. And I was coming off of what had been my best year so far, and kind of bumping into Jake Conan along that same timeline. We just said, hey, well, you know, what do you think we can truly get done if we run at this together as hard as we can?
Wow.
Buttoning down that calendar was huge. You know, like you said, it's not an accident or a mistake. So when you have these hiccups or the stuff that, because everybody's got family stuff that comes up, right?
Sure.
Personal, business, whatever it is. Everyone's got something. But if you can have some kind of plan to begin with, right? So like, what is my 30, 60, or 90? Be adaptable to your schedule. Like, you've got to be able to have something come at you and know, hey, I'm ready for this. You know, if I can't run this weekend, dude, I'll get my 40 appointments in Sunday through Wednesday, no big deal.
Got it.
You know, whatever that is for you. But being prepped and prepared, you can't be shy about investing in yourself and in leads, man.
No
That's
doubt.
you know, that is the bloodline of our business. So having a calendar, being flexible, reaching out to the right people, making sure that you're linking up with people who have been where you wanted to, you know, having conversations with the Steves and the Robs and these guys that have hit the marks we're aiming at. Like, how did you guys do it? What did
Right.
you do that was unique? And then pulling little things from all of them. You know, that's what we're talking about, the 100 ways.
Right.
You know, I want a little something from everyone that I can kind of learn so that I can pick the stuff that fits me the best.
Got it.
Schedule lead flow. It has to be a non-negotiable week to week.
Wow. So what if you have someone that, we were talking to a guy earlier today, looked like he was negotiating, you know, the price, the cost of admission. You know, when you're talking to an agent that's looking like they're negotiating the cost of admission, you say you have to be willing to invest in yourself. It's non-negotiable. What would you say to them?
I would like to look at, you know, what are you putting in and what are you getting out? And the cool thing about getting to work with Wetmore so much when I was brand new in the business is the dude's a numbers guy.
Freak.
Right? Unreal with numbers. So if you're like, hey, I'm doing X and getting this result, like, dude, what if you double down on yourself, triple down on yourself? Do you think the triple results would follow? You know, so I think that's the biggest piece of encouragement that I can ever, you know, give somebody is like, let's go through the numbers. Let's see, you know, dials, leads, etc. Like, what are you good at? What do you struggle with? And then, hey, maybe I don't have the answers, but maybe Mark will, or Andrew will, or Zach will, or John. I mean, there's so
Right.
many people that can help. But I want to know what you're most afraid of. Like, you're grinding 10, 12 hours a day, and you won't double down on yourself. That's you're already doing the hardest part,
Right.
which is the work, the volume of work. You know, like that's the biggest thing. You can't really teach people how to do 10 to 12 hours a day. These guys that are already doing that and trying to scoot by minimally, like they could quadruple their results if they would pour into themselves
Wow.
and have that piece of belief.
Facts. I watch you do that. As the years have gone by, you've continued to invest in yourself in all ways, right? I mean, we start as trying to become confident producers, which you far have exceeded, and then you want to start building an agency. You have witnessed the different levels of building an agency, from VP to EVP to board member. Things change a little bit throughout that process. Talk to us a little bit about what it's like scaling from you yourself and some of the things that a new agent will want to start putting together to get themselves in a position to start building, and then what it looks like at different levels and the ways that you as a leader need to continue to adapt and grow and change to bring out the best fruit inside the people in your group.
Yeah, so to kind of take a step back to that first piece, when you're a brand new agent, let's say that you're kind of, hey, I'm picking up this production thing and maybe I don't want to do this till I'm 89 and a half. Like, what's my plan? So we didn't really have a big budget when you're a brand new agent, right? I'm trying to figure out, how do I recruit people? Well, dude, if you got our whole group 98.5% warm market.
Wow.
Like almost everybody. They're either my direct warm market, or we hired one person, or Jake or an Andy or someone, and we found somebody and we used their warm market to come on. Like, everybody knows somebody that's looking to make a slight financial adjustment or a permanent one or a huge one. Like, there's people all over the U.S. trying to do that. So if we're having a conversation, you know, it's free to share what you're doing. It doesn't cost money to like post like, hey, you know, one of my favorite parts of this job for me, especially the last 2 years, is like I got to travel and run business. I personally love that part.
No doubt.
You know, I get that it's some time away from home, but I loved it. So I shared that everywhere. Like, I get to travel over the whole U.S., see people that are close to me, see agents, meet up with like you and the Seans and Andrews. Like, I get to go all over the U.S. and I can sell everywhere.
Right.
I love that. So I wanted to share that everywhere. Like, dude, I get to travel and do my job as much as I do or don't want to. So why not share the parts that you love about the job? If you love sitting in front of people, you love sitting on the beach and doing telesales, whatever it is, like just share that stuff. It's free.
Right.
And you never know who you're going to attract. There's 8 million stories of the people that came over here that I would never in a million years thought the people that I grew up with would want to do this.
Wow.
Ever. You know, guys that came, they were doing, like one of my good buddies, Johnny, he was in the oil fields for 11 years straight, 3:30 in the morning, 45 below zero in the weather outside, away from his kids and family. You know, and now he comes over here, he's helping 40 to 50, you know, families a month, dude. And
Wow.
he has no experience in sales or communication, like none. You know, he was in the fields, bro. So, you know, just sharing what you're doing. So if you're brand new and you're like, I don't even know where to start, just start. You have to start sharing something. I think it's the easiest way. And then asking the people that you know that are close to you, maybe they're in sales, maybe they're in a door-to-door, or just people are not as happy as they put out on social media a lot of times with their situation. I've got this amazing corporate job making $50 a year. It's a really weird sentence, because it's a lot of work and grind. So just reach out to say, hey, have you thought about trying to maybe just start part-time, a little side hustle? Like you said, hey, would an extra $500 to $1,000 a week, do you think that could potentially help your family a little bit? You don't have to, this is not a 90 hours a week or bust thing,
right?
Like find the people that are looking for a little change. So that's where I would start. That's what's brought almost, like I said, 90+% of the guys that we work with came from either something I had shared or the guys on our team had shared, and people were interested. They wanted more info.
No doubt.
So you got to start there.
How does it feel when you start getting that momentum?
Oh, man.
And, you're traveling the country. You're jumping on calls. You're helping your team. Your team's growing. You're duplicating producers. People are bringing people in. And you start getting to, SVP. 300 families a month on average. How does that feel like?
It's like the most rewarding feeling ever when it starts to click a little bit. And the clicking individual stuff is gratifying like right away for a little while. But then that's, okay, I get it. I can pick up a handful of policies whenever I go out. I got it. It doesn't feel the same as having a team of people come together as a unit that are all looking to change lives. Once you have that, you really do feel like you're on top of the mountain. You have all the steam and momentum in the world, and it's funny, you feel like it's never going to go anywhere. Like, I've got so much moving right now. There's not a shot this isn't going to be forever.
I said that in so many seasons.
Yeah. So, big one. Part of the I've never been in business before. I certainly haven't run an insurance agency or been a part of one before. So having understanding the concept of what happens when you're trying to scale a large business over time, you can't move the needle 460% every 12 months. So when you have that momentum, hold on to it as long as you can. And when you can feel it slip, you've got to reach out to figure out, like, hey, I'm in a much different phase of my business. What do I need to change?
Right.
One of the greatest conversations that we've had recently was just talking about that adaptability. When some people need a lot of guidance really early, and then they're ready to take over their own thing and kind of establish, like, hey, I wouldn't mind giving this a crack and seeing if I can do it my way.
Correct.
And you just got to let them roll.
Yeah.
There's so many good people that have all built massive businesses a different way.
No doubt.
So you got to let people run.
Absolutely.
Big learning lesson for us for sure.
And listen, when you're thinking about putting down foundations, understanding like the foundations have cracks. Foundations gel a certain way, foundations move a certain way, but at the end of the day, all you're really trying to do is create a bunch of small foundations, and they're all going to gel and set in the way they gel and set in. And that's why even in a cookie cutter neighborhood, every single house is different. Because, dude, they've all got different foundations. They all have different scents when you walk in. They all have different things on the walls. They all have, different paint colors. So at the end of the day, these men and women, these people that your business partners that you work with, they all have their own way of thinking, and that's God ordained, and it's okay. And that took me forever to figure out. Forever, because it's like we're all here, one team, one goal, one mission, one mind. That is absolutely the way to run a championship organization for one season. One season. But the next season, you've got new problems. You've got different egos. You've got different success. The fastest thing to create complacency is success. That's the fastest thing, because it goes to the head, it goes to the mind, it makes people think they're doing better than they think they are, they're doing greater than they actually are, and sometimes you need to be humbled. I've been humbled plenty of times doing this business, because people are going to tell you. And I think so when you empower those foundations to kind of decorate their own house, they have the ability to say it's mine. Just like your house, you and your wife want your house to be what you want your house. Can you imagine someone coming to your house and saying, dude, why isn't this on that wall? You'd be like, dude, can you leave? Can you get out of my house? Bro, I'm literally over here trying to live my life, and you're over here trying to tell me where to put my pictures.
Weird.
So it's like we have an opportunity to come alongside people and empower their ideas and their creation and their color and their pictures. And that's probably the most normal / encouraging / empowering way to do it. It took me forever to learn that. But when I did, bro, game changing. Because it allowed for people to have the freedom to have thought, mind, speech, all of it, which is what the country we're in. Why would I'm going to violate the Constitution? I mean, like, at the end of the day, dude, we're just trying to empower people. So you're doing that. Now, from 300 families to 1,000 families, that's a different beast, yes? I mean, you have to change some of the things you're doing. Now, you gave me a number earlier. You said you went from X to X in how much time?
12 months.
Give me the numbers. How many families?
300 families to 1,400 families in 12 months.
I mean, that's significant growth. So that's 1,100 families a month in a 12-month time period. Dude, now when it happens that fast, sometimes you don't even catch the things you should be changing, right? Because somehow some beast came in and said, get out of my way. I'm kicking the door in, right? And sometimes you're watching it and say, we probably need to. And you're guiding and how did it look? How did it look for you in FFL Disruption?
You know, it was probably like a humongous blessing and a curse simultaneously. You know, because it felt we were on this 9 to 10 month streak where it didn't feel like we were going to ever hire somebody or recruit somebody to come in that wasn't going to go and want to eat 50 plus families a month. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So,
which was a good thing. That was a blessing. That was part of the blessing.
Yes,
that's great.
Yes, and I think and I wouldn't even call it a curse because I think the whole process has to be a blessing. You know, you have to take it like that.
Amen. Good. It's really good.
Not thinking that was ever going to change was extremely naive. Mm-hmm. A little bit. So, and it's hard not to want to change anything when everything that you've been executing is going exactly how you could ever dream that it's going to go.
Yeah.
I think understanding the concept of, again, when you go from this small to medium and then you're trying to scale a large business, like you can't be in the 400% growth range for eternity. No one that I've ever seen.
No, it's true.
So not being prepared for that, and making adjustments sooner, it's something that we gotta work on changing every single day, to be honest. And really, that's why we're having these high level conversations with all the top guys at Family First Life, because I want to know, hey, when you hit this, what did you change?
Yeah.
Like when you went through this, because everybody's gone through something when they're building. Yeah. There's 100 ways to build it and 100 ways to screw it up, and almost everyone's tried all. So I want to know that that is.
That's for certain, brother.
So I think we're really fortunate to be here where you can start calling and reaching out and getting like very high level conversations with tons of people that have been through it already. So when we were in that really fast build, we were talking, I felt like we were like on our way to Everest and we were trying to find something taller, because it was going so quick. And not knowing what to change, because when we were doing X, it worked.
Right.
So what would I change?
Right.
And then now we've got a bunch of different personalities that are all killing it, that are ready to do their own thing, and I don't know how to let them do that.
Got it. The good news is that, you guys are freaking killing it. The biggest lie that I've ever heard is you went from 300 families to 1.4 families in a month in 12 months, and you're not killing it. That's a lie. You guys are killing it. And business requires constant adjustments. A lot of times, you don't know what to adjust until it's past time to adjust it, unless you're seeking wise counsel or unless you've been through it enough times that the pattern recognition catches up and allows you to see into the future or have that vision. That's what we're all aiming for. But dude, if you haven't been in business a long time, it's not. This is nothing. This is fly by night. Now, you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, it's repetition on top of repetition on top of repetition on top of conversation with an agent, conversation with staff, similar conversations. Like the pattern recognition of conversations with staff, I've done it so many times I can see it. But without that, well, I don't know but for me, I'm always like, you know, if I haven't done it or we haven't done it a lot, I go, look, I'm learning this too. Let's learn together. Because if I can be transparent, then I can buy grace. Because what do you want me to do? Act like I know everything? Sorry. Don't. I'm sorry. Doesn't work. I mean, so at the end of the day, we're just trying to grow everybody. Just day in and day out, dude. Season by season. Conflict resolution by conflict resolution. You know, and trying to figure out what people need, what people want, how we can help. When you think about this, the way we view the fourth quarter, you know, where it's September, when Life Insurance Awareness Month. So we try to bring as much awareness to this as we can. But when we look at this final trimester, moving into the fourth quarter, talk to me, baby. You've heard this many times.
It's the biggest quarter of the year every year, and it never fails, and it doesn't change. It's always massive. And to take a step back, like I heard an awesome quote, and I don't know the exact words, so I'm not going to blow, but the concept was, if it's never hard, it's not worth it.
Wow.
Ever. You know, so if we weren't going through a time when we had to make adjustments, dude, it is fourth quarter time, baby. It's the best part of the year. It's the most enjoyable part of the year. People are thinking about their family way more the last quarter of the year than they are the rest of the year.
That's true.
Maybe with the exception of Easter.
Right.
But, you know, we got Thanksgiving and Christmas back to back. So people are around their loved ones. They're thinking about them relentlessly. And you've also got people that are going to need a little extra so they can give back more to their family this year.
No doubt.
So it's the best time to recruit people and the best time to get in front of families, whether that's virtually or in person.
No doubt.
It is my favorite part of the year because you can really set yourself up for a tidal wave of momentum going into next year, dude.
It really is great. I don't know how it was, but you said it. I mean, you know, back to school, right? You know, it draws a line. These kids getting on these yellow buses, it draws a line with lunch boxes and a book bag, draws a line. It says, hey, playtime's over. For some reason. But I'm in because we need this in this life. Playtime's over. So that means everyone's gearing up. And what I like to say is there's no holiday after Labor Day. There's no holiday. It's the only time of the year from Labor Day to Thanksgiving. You have this 2.5 month ripping period of just playtime's over and there's no excuses. There's no excuses for the clients. There's no excuses for the agents. If you want to make up your own excuses, God bless you. I won't join you, but I'm ripping it, you know, and I'm driving so much momentum through Thanksgiving and the Christmas. You said it, people around their families. It is go time. Plus, there are year-end numbers that people want to hit. So so you have, you know, people that have goals, that have set goals that are like, oh, snap. I'm either ahead or I'm behind. I'm on track. I want to blow through the goal. I want to empower my people to make their goals bigger. And all of a sudden, everyone is laser focused and locked in on the program at hand, which is the fourth quarter, baby. Games are won in the fourth quarter. Easton, give a annual convention shout out, and we'll wrap this thing up.
So annual convention is always the point of the year that really kickstarts the going into that next quarter of momentum. So if you're not registered for convention, make sure you do that ASAP. Send it to everybody that you know. If they're not in it, if they are in it, they've got to get there. The people that are speaking there are unbelievable, brand new agents and, you know, special guest speakers, etc. It's going to be unreal. It's always the time of the year that I come back from, and it's like a re-empowerment phase. And it's what is it, 4 days of just absolute heaven of learning as much as you can. So convention, February, back in Miami. Do not miss it. It's always my favorite part of the year.
To think about this. Think about the Florida Marlins Stadium where we're having it this year again. But when you say it's a heaven of learning, dude, it's not just from stage. The amount of one-on-one conversations or the small group ciphers that are created, where you're listening and learning from people that are doing it in addition to stage. It's like an MBA in business in 4 days. Why would you spend 2 years on $100,000 when you can do it for free in 4 days? Everybody wants time and money? All right, I'm giving you it. Time and money. You got time and money. Free 4 days. Annual convention. Listen, Easton, man. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you.
You are the man. Thank you for coming in, pouring in, and giving back to us, man. We love you so much, man. Thank you for being a guest on the show.
Hey, I really appreciate you having me, and it's been awesome so far. I'm pumped for tonight.
Training day, baby. Easton Padden, FFL Disrupted. God bless.